What if one of the most peaceful men in the Bible saw something beyond the stars, something gentle and quiet, yet full of meaning? The story of Enoch is short in many Bibles, but it carries a deep sense of mystery. He walked with God so closely that he did not face death, but some ancient writings suggest there was more to his journey. Something he saw, something he remembered, something that still speaks to hearts today. Imagine a chapter hidden from many eyes, where Enoch saw the earth not from the ground, but from above. In that vision, he saw eyes. They were watching the earth, not to harm, not to frighten, but to guide, to care, and to remember. Enoch did not feel fear. He felt understanding. Heaven was near, and someone was always watching with love. Maybe this lost vision is inviting us to walk with God the way Enoch did, gently, slowly, and with an open heart. Before we go deeper, take a moment to let your heart rest. This message is not loud. It is not complicated. It is simple and soft. It is for anyone who still believes that God sees, even when the world forgets. If your heart feels that truth, please subscribe to the channel. Let this journey remind you of one thing: even when you cannot see God, He still sees you. Enoch lived in a world filled with confusion, pride, and distance from God. People were following their own ways and forgetting the one who made them. But Enoch was different. While many hearts became cold, his heart stayed warm and close to the Lord. He was not trying to be noticed. He was simply trying to be faithful. In a time of noise, Enoch chose quiet. In a time of rebellion, he chose to walk in peace with God. Enoch did not walk with God for one day and stop the next. His walk was steady and simple, day by day, step by step. It was not about big actions. It was about quiet faithfulness. His life teaches us that walking with God is not about being loud or perfect. It is about being present with Him. God is not looking for strong heroes. He is looking for hearts that stay near Him with love and trust. Genesis 5:24 says, "And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him." This short verse has deep meaning. Enoch walked so closely with God that one day God took him home. He did not face death. He was not abandoned. He was received. This shows us that a quiet and faithful walk can be stronger than the noise of many. Enoch reminds us that we do not need a crowd to walk with God. We do not need the approval of others. We only need a heart that chooses God again and again. When the world speaks loudly, God listens to the soft voice of the faithful. When others forget Him, God remembers those who stay near. Enoch's story is gentle, but its message is strong. This kind of walk is still possible today. You do not need visions or miracles to be close to God. You only need a simple and honest heart. You need to make space inside for His voice. In your daily life, even in small things, God is ready to walk with you. Like Enoch, you can choose God one quiet step at a time. Walking with God may not make you popular. It may not make life easy, but it will make your heart peaceful. It will give you a kind of strength and comfort that the world cannot give. And little by little, God will open your eyes to things others may not notice. Enoch's walk was preparing him for a message, a vision, and a trust from God. How does Enoch's walk speak to you today? Comment below and share what it means to walk with God in your daily life. Your words may help someone who is trying to stay faithful in a noisy and tiring world. There are old writings that speak of Enoch with more detail than what we read in the main Bible. One of these writings talks about a special chapter, a part that feels hidden or forgotten by many. In this chapter, Enoch was shown deep things, visions, voices, and truths not given to the people of his time. These were not strange or confusing ideas. They were gentle truths, kept for the right heart and the right moment. God sometimes hides things not to keep us away, but to protect what is holy. Enoch had a heart that was ready for these truths. He did not run after mysteries. He simply walked close to God. Because of that closeness, his spirit was open. He became someone God could trust with deeper understanding. And even if that chapter did not reach us completely, its meaning still speaks to those who want to listen. This lost chapter invites us to look at life with deeper eyes, not with fear, but with care. Enoch saw more than what people could see on the surface. He saw what lies beneath the noise. He saw God's order, heaven's presence, and the quiet way spiritual things move in the middle of daily life. It was not about being smarter. It was about being still and having a clean heart. Proverbs 25:2 says, "It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter." God hides things not to confuse us, but to invite us to seek Him with a true heart. Enoch's chapter may be lost on paper, but it is not lost in spirit. The message is still alive for those who walk with God as he did. Many people today look for deep secrets or special knowledge, but the message of Enoch is not about hidden books. It is about a hidden walk with God, a daily choice to stay near Him, to listen, to trust, and to obey. When we do this, God may not show us visions, but He opens our eyes in other ways. We begin to understand our life, our world, and our purpose with a new kind of clarity. Enoch received this chapter because he first gave his whole life to God. He did not rush, he did not push, he simply walked. And in that walk, God spoke to him. This teaches us that true understanding does not come from trying harder. It comes from walking closer. The chapter was never about power. It was about trust. And trust grows in quiet moments. If you ever felt like something was missing in your walk with God, maybe the answer is not to search for more information, but to return to simple closeness. Like this video if your heart wants that kind of walk. Let Enoch's life remind you that God still reveals Himself, not to the loud, but to the faithful. Not in public noise, but in private love. In the vision Enoch received, he saw something unusual, something quiet but full of meaning. He saw eyes, not just one or two, but many. These eyes were not from people, they were from above. They were watching the earth, not with anger but with care. These eyes were not there to frighten him. They were there to remind him that heaven was near and always watching. The eyes were not watching to judge every small mistake. They were watching the way a shepherd watches his sheep, with attention, with patience, and with love. Enoch did not feel fear when he saw them. He felt understood. The vision showed him that the earth is not forgotten. God is always aware. Nothing is hidden from Him, even when people think they are alone. Sometimes we live as if no one sees our struggles. We carry heavy burdens. We cry in secret. We wonder if anyone notices. Enoch's vision answers this. Yes, someone sees. The eyes of heaven are not far. They are present every moment, watching not to harm, but to help, watching not to accuse, but to care. This is not a reason to fear. It is a reason to feel comforted. 2 Chronicles 16:9 says, "For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth, to show Himself strong in the behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward Him." Enoch's vision and this verse fit together. God's eyes are not cold or distant. They search for hearts that still look for Him, hearts that stay open to His guidance. When Enoch saw the eyes, he did not hide. He listened. He received the message. This shows something gentle but strong. When God watches, He also speaks. He may not use loud words. He may not show fire or great signs, but He gives small reminders. He moves quietly. And those who walk with Him like Enoch begin to notice these moments. You do not need to fear the eyes of heaven. They do not see you the way the world sees you. God's eyes see your pain, your joy, your hidden hopes. He sees the things you cannot express, and He understands. The watchers in Enoch's vision were not guards. They were witnesses, witnesses to every prayer, every act of kindness, and every silent cry. If you have ever felt unseen, let Enoch's vision speak softly to your heart. Subscribe to this channel if you want to walk with the peace of knowing you are never alone. The eyes of heaven are near. They are kind, gentle, and always full of grace. Enoch's vision did not end with seeing the eyes. He learned who they were. These eyes belonged to the watchers, heavenly beings assigned by God. They were not angels sent to judge or punish. They were sent to observe, to witness, to stay present over the earth as part of God's divine care. Their role was not to rule, but to watch with purpose and faithfulness. The watchers were placed to see how people lived, the choices they made, and the paths they followed. They did not control anyone, but they saw everything that happened. They saw kindness and cruelty. They saw moments when people remembered God and moments when they forgot Him, and everything they saw was brought before the Lord. For many of us, this may seem unusual. Why would God need watchers if He sees all things? The truth is simple. God allows His creation to take part in His work. Just as He calls us to care for others, He assigns heavenly beings to care as well. The watchers are part of God's gentle way of staying close to the earth, not through force, but through loving watchfulness. In Daniel 4:13, the Bible says, "I saw in the visions of my head upon my bed, and behold, a watcher and an holy one came down from heaven." This shows us that Enoch was not the only one to speak about watchers. Other servants of God also saw them. They are part of heaven's quiet work, always near, always watching, always holy in their purpose. The watchers do not act on their own. They move only when God sends them. They do not bring fear. They bring awareness. They remind us that life is deeper than what we see with our eyes. There is more happening in the spiritual world than we often notice. Enoch was allowed to see them because his heart stayed open and gentle. He was not afraid of them. He understood why they were there. This teaches us something very comforting. We are never unseen. When we do something in secret, whether good or painful, heaven is aware. When no one notices our quiet faith, our silent prayers, or our small acts of kindness, someone does. The watchers remind us that we are not forgotten. Even when people ignore us, heaven remains close. Have you ever felt that your choices go unseen? Comment below and share how knowing that heavenly watchers are present helps your heart. Let this truth bring you peace. You are not alone. You are not unnoticed. Among all the people in his time, Enoch was chosen for something very special. He was not the strongest or the most famous. He was not a king or a warrior. What made him different was his heart. Enoch's heart was soft. He was humble and quiet. He listened to God not only with his ears, but with his whole life. He did not look for attention. He simply walked with God with gentle love. God does not choose people because of fame or power. He looks at the heart. Enoch's heart was open. He was not perfect, but he was honest. He walked in peace. He obeyed even when it was not easy. He prayed even when others forgot. And because of this, God knew he could trust Enoch with something greater, a message that carried weight, but also brought light. The vision of the eyes watching the earth was not given to someone proud or loud. It was given to someone still, someone who would not use it for glory, someone who would carry it with care. Enoch became a bridge between heaven and earth, between God's whisper and human hearts. His life shows that when we are faithful in small things, God gives more. Psalm 25:9 says, "The meek will he guide in judgment, and the meek will he teach his way." Enoch lived this truth. He was meek, not weak, but gentle and humble. Because of this, God taught him things that others did not see. The Lord shared his way with someone who walked with him, not ahead of him. Sometimes we think we must be bold, loud, or strong to be used by God. But Enoch shows a different path. To be used by God, we must first be near to Him. We must listen before we speak, trust before we understand. Enoch's life teaches us that God looks for clean hearts, not full hands. He looks for love, not noise. God chose Enoch because Enoch chose God, daily, quietly, faithfully. This kind of walk builds trust, and in that trust, God opens doors. He reveals things. He shows truths that others cannot see. Not because Enoch was better, but because he was ready. His heart made space for heaven's message. Have you ever wondered what God could show you if your heart was soft like Enoch's? Comment below what it means to you to have a gentle and faithful heart. Maybe that is where the journey begins. Maybe, like Enoch, God is preparing you to carry something sacred. In his vision, Enoch saw more than heavenly eyes. He saw what those eyes were watching. He was shown the deep parts of human life, things people often hide or forget. He saw silent prayers, quiet tears, and unspoken hopes. The watchers saw these things too. Nothing was missed. Nothing was ignored. Enoch started to understand that heaven listens, even when people feel alone. The eyes also showed the struggles of daily life. Enoch saw how people carried pain in silence, how they smiled even when their hearts were hurting, and how they walked through hard moments without support. He saw small acts of kindness that no one else noticed. The eyes noticed them. Heaven was watching, not to punish, but to remember. Every small moment was precious. Many people think that unless they do something big, their life has no value. But Enoch's vision teaches the opposite. The small things matter. The way we speak, the way we forgive, the way we stay kind, these are seen. The tears we cry at night, the prayers we whisper in secret, heaven holds them. Enoch saw that no pain and no act of love is ever wasted. Psalm 56:8 says, "Thou tellest my wanderings, put thou my tears into thy bottle, are they not in thy book?" This matches what Enoch saw. God keeps our tears. He remembers our steps. Even when people forget us, God does not. Enoch's vision was not only about what he saw, it was about what God feels for us. When the watchers looked at the earth, they did not only see what was wrong, they also saw what was good. They saw quiet faith. They saw gentle strength. They saw acts of love. Enoch saw that heaven is not focused only on sin. Heaven rejoices in goodness. The eyes do not search to find faults. They look for hearts that still reach toward God. This part of the vision brought peace to Enoch. He saw that the earth was not abandoned. He saw that heaven was not far. Even in dark places, there is light, because God sees. And when God sees, He remembers. He understands. He responds. Maybe not in the way we expect, but always in the way we need. Have you ever felt unseen in your quiet pain or small kindness? Comment below how it feels to know that heaven watches with love and not with judgment. Enoch's vision reminds us, your life matters. Your prayers are heard. Your tears are kept, and your heart is never forgotten. Enoch's vision was not only for his time, it reaches across many years and speaks to us today. In a world full of noise, speed, and distraction, we need reminders of what is eternal. Enoch's message calls us to keep our eyes open, not only to what we see, but also to what we do not see. It invites us to live with awareness, with compassion, and with the gentle understanding that heaven is near. Today, many people feel lost inside. They look for meaning in things that do not last. They run after success, attention, or comfort, but still feel empty. Enoch's life gives us a different direction. It teaches that real meaning is not found in doing more, but in walking with God. Not in being known by the world, but in being known by heaven. This is a message our generation still needs. We are being watched, not with fear, but with love. The eyes Enoch saw still look upon the earth. They do not sleep. They do not forget. They see the kindness we offer and the pain we carry. They see the good we try to do and the wrong we try to leave behind. These watchers are not here to harm us. They remind us that heaven is still close. 2 Chronicles 16:9 says, "For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth, to show himself strong in the behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him." This truth has not changed. God is still looking. He is still searching for hearts that are turned toward him. He is still ready to show his strength to those who remain faithful. This vision also teaches us to care for others. If heaven watches with love, then we must learn to watch with love too. If God sees each person's quiet pain, we should try to understand and comfort them. Our world needs more than opinions. It needs compassion. It needs people who, like Enoch, choose to walk with God and look at others through his eyes. Enoch's message is simple but strong. Do not live as if no one sees you. Do not think your life does not matter. You are seen. You are known. You are remembered deeply by the one who made you. And your walk with God may be the light that helps someone else find their way back to him. Does this message speak to our generation? Comment below. How Enoch's vision helps you think about your own life and choices. Maybe God is calling you to walk more gently, to look more deeply, and to live with the peace of knowing that heaven is near. The story of Enoch is quiet, yet it touches the heart deeply. It is not filled with loud miracles or great battles. It shows the beauty of a simple life walked with God day by day. Enoch reminds us that closeness with God is not far. It is something we choose. It begins with stillness, with honesty, and with a soft heart that is ready to listen and follow. The vision he received was not given to bring fear. It was given to bring peace. The eyes watching the earth were not cold. They were kind and full of purpose. They looked at the world with care and hope. Enoch understood that God's presence is always near. Even when we feel alone, heaven is full of attention, full of life, and full of love. This is not only his story, it can become your story too. You may feel unseen or unheard. You may feel forgotten. But the same eyes that watched in Enoch's time are watching now, watching your steps, watching your tears, watching your quiet efforts to continue. And these eyes are not far. They are near, always gentle. Isaiah 41:10 says, "Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness." This promise speaks the same truth we learn from Enoch. God is not watching to accuse. He is watching to help, to hold, and to walk with us. This message is a gentle invitation, not to be perfect, not to know everything, but to walk with God the way Enoch walked, slowly, honestly, willingly. To live each day knowing that your life matters, your choices are seen, your kindness is remembered, and your walk is not empty. Today you are invited to step closer to God, not with fear, but with faith, not with pressure, but with peace. Like Enoch, you can walk quietly and still be deeply known. You can live gently and still carry a message that touches others. You can be part of a story that does not end in death, but in closeness with the living God. Did this journey touch your heart? Subscribe to this channel so you can continue walking with messages like this, messages that bring truth, peace, and the reminder that heaven is always watching in love. May you walk gently, may you walk faithfully, and may you always remember you are seen, you are loved, and you are never alone.